Good evening everyone. Oh, you've noticed on the program that there's a disco tonight. And I'm wearing a very itchy but sparkly top. So, to pay for my sins, you'll have to speak louder and be happier. Good evening, Swanwick.
Good evening!
Yay! Welcome to Swanwick 2026 from myself, Olive Ruzidzo, and my fellow co-chair, Leonora Wassel, Reverend Leonora Wassel. If she stands up, will you know? You might still be able to see her. And from the executive, we welcome you to Swanwick 2026. It's been a while. For those who've been here before, welcome back home. For the first timers, we met you at 7:30. Can we all give them a round of applause? Can we also welcome those Zoomers who are online somewhere? Hello, Zoomers. We also want to welcome our guest speaker. She won't stand up today, she won't stand up now, but you will see her tomorrow. You'll see a picture of her later, but we'll get to that. We also want to welcome our chaplains. I've just noticed Georgina coming in now and she's sitting at the back. And Barbara, Georgina and Barbara, if you could stand up. Thank you. Our lanyards are coded in color. I'm wearing an orange lanyard because I'm part of the people who will be able to assist you this weekend. So we're here to serve you. The first timers are in a golden yellow because we're expecting all of them to come to the disco. Our chaplains are in our healthy green, so please look out for the chaplains. There will be numbers that will be posted on the screens for emergency numbers. We've got 4 first aiders, volunteer first aiders. So please tell somebody if you're not well, if you have an emergency, please let someone know. If you cannot find anyone in the green or in the orange, please go to the reception or call the number. It will be posted on the screen. Right, we'd like to find out who's here from the districts. How many of you have managed to convince your districts to come? So I will start with Northwest England. Oh, there's so many of you, I couldn't hear you. Northwest England. Yay! Wales Synod Cymru. Oh. West Midlands. I think Northwest England beat you there. Bristol. Oh, Bristol. Bristol needs some happiness injected in them. Let's see what happens by the end of the weekend. Channel Islands. Oh, we can clap hands for them anyway. Chester, Stoke-on-Trent. Darlington. East Anglia. Oh, I'm moving to East Anglia. Isle of Man. Oh, let's clap for them. Lincolnshire. Oh, yeah, I might move to Lincolnshire too, I don't know. Newcastle upon Tyne. Very sparkly Newcastle, thank you. Nottingham and Derby. From one person, and she's beat everybody. Northampton. Sheffield? Oh, Sheffield. Southampton? Yorkshire West? Oh, there is someone. Yorkshire North and East? You better make a lot of noise because that's where Leonora is from. Scotland? Oh. Do we have someone from Scotland? No. Oh. Shetland? Bedfordshire, Essex, and Hertfordshire. Oh, very well represented. London? Southeast? Oh, wow. Thank you. And Southwest Peninsula. I think that was the best one yet. Welcome, 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 everyone. So our theme this weekend that Carolyn Godfrey, who is our speaker, will take us through is where power meets purpose, small acts that change the world. I hope we've brought some power. If not, I hope we can have some power injected in us. And then I hope we can go back with purpose. If any of you joined into the prayers in the last month where we were praying on arising and shining, we spoke about how we would arise not because we were sleeping, but awaken those parts of us that need to serve other people. Right at the back, you'll have a chance, and I think, thank you to Caroline, I must get that right this weekend because we have a Carolyn and a Caroline. Caroline, our resources officer, who worked extremely hard to get our boards up that show what our acts are, how we can be purposeful with what we have. I don't want to take away from what Caroline is going to say to us tomorrow, but I think that is the start of what we can do. There will be a competition, maybe not necessarily here, but at conference, where you have an opportunity to show the works that you're doing within your district. So I hope when Carolyn speaks, it's something that we're able to take back to our districts and not just keep for ourselves. I spoke about Carolyn. You might be able to see her on a picture. That's Carolyn. Welcome, Carolyn. Our first timers are in yellow. We spoke about the first timers. We've also got our sisters from the Global Mission, our sisters from the World Federation. Please don't make me repeat the whole thing. World Federation of Methodist and Uniting Churches Women. Please clap hands for me. You will soon meet them as Barbara comes to introduce them later. And we also remember at this time those who were with us at previous Swannwicks who are not able to be with us today. I will ask you to stand as we remember those who are departed, those who died since we last met, and I will ask Barbara to just lead us in prayer. If you could please stand.
The souls of the righteous are in the hand of God, and no torments will ever touch them. In the eyes of the foolish, they seem to have died, and their departure was thought to be a disaster, and their going from us to be their destruction. But they are at peace. Their hope is full of immortality. Those who trust in him will understand truth and the faithful will abide with him in love, because grace and mercy are upon his holy ones, and he watches over his elect.
Earlier we spoke about the marketplace. I think we spoke with the first timers that the one thing that we're going to get while we're here is retail therapy. So I hope you've brought cards that are not going to be rejected and pockets full of lots of money. So in the front line here, I'm going to introduce Chris Thompson, who's been working tirelessly and talking to all of the marketplaces, that's what we're calling them. And they have 30 seconds to talk about what is at their desk. 30 seconds. And we've got a timer.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm Chris Thompson, and I'm here with all my fair trade stuff, and that's my time gone, okay? And we have, you can't have the mic.
Hi, I'm Caroline Fillery. I'm here with the MWiB Resources stall. I want you all to come and see me, and especially I want you all to buy one of the new badges for MWiB. They're £3. There are 3 different designs. You won't be able to choose, so you'll have to have one of each. And so that's £9, and you've got £1 to spend on something else.
Okay, and we have?
Hi, I'm Julianne. I run the bookstall. I think a lot of you already know me. I've been coming lots of years. I've got lots of books, gifts and cards. 2 aims: for my card to be much emptier when I go home, and for your bank balances to be much emptier when I go home. And don't forget, it's never too early to start your Christmas shopping.
And?
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm from Gifts of Grace, and it's associated with Bethlehem. I've got lovely things to buy, and when the war started, I was told if I hadn't got the order to them by the time the war started, I sent the order the day before. Ben Gurion Airport was closed, and God got my parcel to Bolton 10 days later. So come and buy, because God sent it for you all.
And?
Mine, I've been here before. Anything on my stall is from Ghana. There's a new thing in that there's a bag full of knitted items. You just rummage through them. Anything you want to buy that's hand knitted, brand new, it costs you whatever you want to give.
Would you like to tell me your name?
Diana.
Just in case you don't know, I'm Lee. All right, ladies, if you came here carrying a notebook, 3 pens, a prayer request, and at least one unresolved life situation, then Sacred Feminine was written for you. It's for the women who love scripture, healing, deep reflection, and also knows that the group chat can be as effective as the prayer circle. This book brings the women of the Bible, oh dear, together. Right, you can come. You may have come for Eve, Esther, Mary.
Oh, Lee, our first failure.
Hi,
I'm Becca from All We Can. Over at the All We Can tent, you'll find a bunch of resources to help you talk about us when you get home. Please don't make me take them all home with me. They're very heavy. But I really want you to come and linger, gather around the table and get a bit crafty, making a braided bracelet, keyring or badge. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And there we go. Thank you so much. And for All We Can, those strands are justice, joy and hope. Justice, creating a world without despair. Joy, keeping us going. And hope that it's even possible. So come and have a chat and a...
Hi, I'm Amy Wagner. I'm the Visits and Collections Manager at Epworth Old Rectory, and we would love to have you come visit us to see the magnificent home of the Wesleys, the beautiful Queen Anne Grade 1 listed house, the fantastic gardens, the renewed Physic Gardens, and come visit the Weird American.
Well done.
Hi, I'm Jill Mason. I'm here for Fund for Human Need. We're a 60-plus-year-old charity that helps people across the UK when they're in desperate times. Lots of free things to give you to take back to your churches or your groups so you can help us out in the future. One small act, a donation, whatever the size, may not change the world, but it can change the world for one desperate person.
Move along. We're too close to the speaker. We're too close to the speaker. Oh, yes.
It is me. Hi, I'm Helen. I will be in the corner with many friends. Please come and see how MWiB will fit in with the World Federation of Methodist and Uniting Church Women. Come and take part in the activities and help us to fundraise to send people to Auckland for World Assembly. And come to the Bring and Buy stall.
Hi, I'm Naledi. Self-published author. I have 4 books on my store, and I have 4 cups, 2 of each book. You can come and have a look. So, thank you.
And another self-published author.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I've got one of my books here, which is Bless the Unfinished Way, which is a book of prayers and reflections for those in-between places on our journey of faith.
Thank you. So those are the people that are here tonight. And we have, in addition to that, 3 stalls, one of which is already set up, but 2 will be being set up tomorrow by Saturday-only visitors. So we have All We Can coming.
I'm here all weekend.
Oh, sorry. Wrong one. Action for Children.
That's other Methodist charity.
So, yeah, sorry, you're here all weekend. Of course you are, Beck, as if I could miss you. Yeah, so we have Caris coming from Action for Children. We have Sally coming from Christians Against Poverty, and they're running a stall. And we have Emily, who has set her stall up already, from the Girls Brigade. And they're very pleased to be here for the very first time and happy to talk to you about their new badge system. They've got a new badge which fits in with our Butterfly Movement project about violence against women. Okay, and we are mainly, apart from Well Fed, in Butterley. So you all know where Butterley is. It's right behind the dining room on that corridor, that sloping corridor. So last year there were several people who said they couldn't find us, didn't know where we were. So that's why we're doing the adverts now. Do come and see us and just chat. Find out what we're doing and chat. The World Fed stall, as you may already have found, is at the back of this room here. I said I was Chris Thompson.
Oh, okay.
And you also introduced me as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chris. So lots to do, lots to buy. Not just chat, but to buy as well. Interesting. The marketplace will be open in between all of our sessions. So anytime our sessions end, the marketplace is open. After this session, if you're not at the disco or at circle dancing, then you can go to the marketplace. Would prefer that you come to the disco. But anyway, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Anyway, I will give this time to our global sisters, and I'll call upon Barbara Easton, who is our area president for Methodist World Federation of Methodist and United Churches Women. I've got it. Church Women.
Yes, and we are the Britain and Ireland unit, and my glamorous assistants here, how good of them to wear something sparkly for the occasion, are demonstrating the banner, which represents our unit, our area, which is Britain and Ireland, and we have the symbols for all the different parts of that. But I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. You can't stand there throughout, so please do sit down. You will find that on display at the back as well. I want to say, first of all, how unaccustomed as I am to standing here, because I normally get a slot sometime on the Sunday morning. So to be standing here on the Friday night, and finding that on the agenda, it's like when you open an agenda for a meeting and you suddenly see that you're taking the prayers or presenting a report, and you think, I didn't read that bit. So seeing myself here on the Friday night, I had to look twice and say, what's that about? Has something gone wrong? But I think it is a really important acknowledgement of our status, because although you think that you are here as Methodist Women in Britain and you are here for the Methodist Women in Britain weekend, what we also are, the other side of our coin, is that we are the British unit. And even if Methodist Women in Britain were to fizzle away, we would still be the British unit of the World Federation. And to me, that is actually hugely important. This is my valedictory, because come this summer, I stop being the area president, about which more in a minute. And I just wanted to say a couple of things about what I've learned and observed over the time that I have been here. And one is that I will talk at people till I am blue in the face. That's not the end of that sentence. Bronwyn, thank you. About what this women's body does. And really, what a strength of the Methodist Church, this room full of women, and all the rooms full of women from which you have come, and the communities that you represent. What a strength that is. There are not many other places within the Methodist Church in Britain where such a variety of people come together for such a chunk of time in order to have fellowship, worship together, and study together. And next, please. Thank you. And next, please. And that applies not only to the way that we come together here, but also, and I can see one or two nodding and smiling faces, but also to the individual things that you do. And this picture just represents the ladies of the Northwest getting together for a whole weekend. And there were about 70 of us at Minster Acres, and we did worship and we did Bible study throughout the whole weekend. What intensity there was there, what learning. And to be able to go back and say, I've just been with a room full of women for a whole weekend, and everybody had a notebook and was learning more about their faith. How much does that happen in our church? And that's what you do. So whoop, 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 whoop. Well done. Well done. Next, please. But for me, I have to say that if Methodist Women in Britain is brilliant, for me, the absolute joy of these 5 years has been that fellowship with our sisters in the global church. And we have two great advantages in our area, which we saw best of all when we had our area seminar at Porto. And if you're sitting there thinking, Porto, what happened in Porto? That was this quinquennium. Methodism is the only organisation I know which uses the word quinquennium so frequently. But in the next quinquennium, there will be another event. And if you didn't go to Porto, something else will be happening, and you could go to that. And in this quinquennium in Porto, I was going to say it's a pity we've got these women on the screen. That's not quite what I meant. What I meant is that quite a lot of those women are in the room, and it would be good if I'd been able to find a picture that showed actually the range of people there. I led the closing worship, and because it had a lot of words in it, don't say anything, Bronwyn, I did a translation. I used Word Translate. I didn't know it was there, but you press a button, and it comes out. And it came out in German because we had a whole contingent of Germans there. And we had Swedes there, and we had Bulgarians there, and we had people from Romania and Albania and Serbia. Who knew there were Methodist women in Serbia? And from so many people in the Eastern Bloc with this different experience of what it is to be a Christian because it hadn't been allowed in their country. And then there were women from France, and they were saying it's really difficult to be a Methodist in France at the moment because of new laws the government's brought in. And there were Methodists from Spain, and there were Methodists from Portugal. All of us in one room, but that wasn't it. Because the World Executive was there, the World Officers were there. Louise is glowering at me from the back here because I will get the language wrong. The World Officers were there. And so many people who'd come from other parts of Europe had come to Europe from places across the world. So we had sessions on what it's like in the church in Hong Kong, and we had singing from different Zimbabwe fellowships across Europe. And and my oppo in the Europe Continental, Lilla, turns out she's joined a choir where they're learning to sing all sorts of things. So they were singing not just in Hungarian, but also in different African. It was such a rich experience. And that is the richness of our belonging. And to me, that is so special. And it applies now, whether they're in the room or not. Across the world, Methodist women are doing these things that we do. And just imagine them. This host of witnesses around the room with us, being part of what it is that we are, and worshipping in all these languages and different cultural traditions, and with different attitudes to some of the things we have attitudes about. They have different attitudes, and yet we are one church. And I don't know if you know this, but almost, if you count almost to the last person, there are more Methodists in the world than there are Anglicans. I say nothing, and it is like that, actually. I mean, it's neck and neck. But, you know, we are a bigger global church than you may, you know, it's not always the way we see ourselves. But we are this big global church together. And to me, that is so rich. Could we see a couple more people from in the room? But doing things is a very Methodist thing to do, isn't it? And could we have the next slide, please? Thank you. I needed to check that was what happened next. One of the things that we have done as Methodist women as part of our life in the global church since the 1800s, and a woman whose name I've just forgotten but Bron would remind me of, Caroline Wiseman, is that we have prepared the Easter offering materials for the whole church. And the way that used to happen, and this is kind of before my time, but some of you will have been more involved in the movement then, is that Methodist women used to organise the collection, and they would take the money physically and hand it in, present it at a circuit service. And some of you are nodding. And in some places that still happens. And that's great. But if you're sitting there thinking, it doesn't happen in our circuit, that's fine. Because the resources, we're a changed church. We're in a different place as a church. And if you don't have a Methodist women's group in your area, don't think, oh, we can't do the Easter offering. because the materials have been written so that if you've got a steward who says, we've got no minister next week, it's a steward service. Use the Easter offering. The materials are cracking. This year, the theme is Unbound, a God who breaks down barriers. There is the story of Jeremiah being rescued from the well by Ebed-Melech. Who knew there was a black guy from Ethiopia in the story of Jeremiah? I didn't realise that. But this story of Ebed-Melech and how he, as a complete outsider in the court of Israel, goes to the king and says, you've got that wrong. And what a challenge to justice that is for us. And there you are, and it's there, it's in the materials. There's a great reflection in there, contributed by the Europe guy from the British Methodist Europe branch person, Barry, badly expressed. He's Irish, so Louise will have me for that as well. He is based in Chemnitz in East Germany, and he has sent a piece about a guy who was an artist in the communist time and how he could not practice his art because he was a Christian, and about things that happened to him and how he was set free in that situation. So Unbound is about all the things which tie us down. And that line in Luke 4 where Jesus says, I have come to proclaim release from captivity. So these are great materials. Everybody get them out there. If you're not having a service, if you're having a service, use them, they're great. If you're not having a service, use them, they're great. Use them in church, use them as a study group. There's loads of stuff there. They are digital. I'm waiting for the... Do not complain to me. Complain to the publications department of the Methodist Church if you feel they should be available in paper format. Are we able to excise that from the live broadcast? Or... So, this is my valedictory. And I want to introduce you to... No, yes. And it is our Helen Kim scholar, Madeline's valedictory as well. But that's okay, because next year, the people who will be waving literally the banner will be Helen. And Izzy. So, I'd like to give Helen the chance to say hello.
Hello.
Bronwyn will like that. I know. It's all right, it's my last one.
Hello, as you know, I am Helen. I'm Helen Cunningham, and I live in Newcastle, which is in the northeast of England. I am what might be called a cradle Methodist, though I chose to become a member in my teenage years. And at that point, I was very involved with MAYC. I was a member of the MAYC Orchestra and Singers. I love singing. And I campaigned with the MAYC World Action. And through them, I went and did the Jubilee 2000 debt campaign, which I'm sure many of you remember. And that is where I met Christian Aid. I have been working for Christian Aid for almost 2 decades now. Mainly in community fundraising. Christian Aid Week's coming, it's not far away. I'm also a member of the Methodists in World Mission, and I have been for many, many years, and I'm now a trustee of that group. I find the conference topics and the speakers really fascinating and inspiring, and they help to keep me connected to the world church. And for me, that's really important because as a child, I grew up in Kenya as the daughter of Methodist mission partners. Many of you will know John and Sharon Harbottle, and they are my mum and dad. Many of you have prayed faithfully for them over the years in the Methodist Prayer Handbook, even if you haven't met them face to face, but I know a lot of you have. So that is my heritage. I am also a sister, I'm an auntie, I'm a wife, and I am a mother. And I live with my husband, Alan, and our 2 children who are in primary school.
That's lovely. Well, thank you. So you can say something about the role as well. Yes. Move on. Okay. Do you wish to speak? Let me introduce you to Izzy, our new Helen Kim scholar.
Hello, I'm Izzy, and I'm becoming the Helen Kim Memorial Scholar after Madeline. And I'm originally from Southwest Wales, but I'm currently based in Cambridge. Specifically Castle Street Methodist Church, with Jenny as my minister. I haven't been a part of Methodism for very long. I haven't found faith for very long. During my second year of university, myself and one of my friends decided to see if there was sort of anything in it and if it was right for us. And we haven't left after our first service. The noisemakers came out and everyone was so lovely to us, and we have been completely embraced by the church and we feel so grateful for that. I'm now church secretary. I do the minutes. Yes, and I also, about 2 hours ago in the car, got made in charge of GDPR. So I really love everyone in the local church, but I'm also really lucky to be on the working group for artificial intelligence that will be presenting its findings in conference. I was lucky enough to get to do my master's up in Edinburgh in data and artificial intelligence ethics, and I completed my dissertation with the AI working group. So some of you might have filled in my survey at some point last year, but I will be presenting that along with our other findings at the conference. So I feel very grateful that I get to be involved with my local church, but also something bigger, and I'm really looking forward to this next step of something even bigger again and getting to meet so many lovely women. So, and thank you so much to everyone who's been so very lovely to me already in the last few hours. I feel very, very welcomed. Thank you.
I think you can see that for the next quinquennium, you are lucky and blessed. But not only that, because we also have in the room the current World Secretary. We have the current World President Emerita, which means that Alison, where are you, Alison? That was World President and then does a further quinquennium as the World President Emerita. Louise is from the Irish unit. Alison, you know. But we also have somebody whose name you might get to know in 2 capacities, and that is Wanda. Wanda is going to be the new area president for Britain and Ireland. So Wanda is, sorry, I need to be nearer the mic. Wanda is, if you like, the new me. And Izzy is the new Wanda, because Wanda is currently the vice president. It's been a long day. And you, yes, anyway, you get the idea. really quite unusual for you to have the incoming president in the room. But we are really, really glad that our sisters from Ireland are here, and really, really glad to be able to introduce them. I have a copy of the Tree of Life magazine, which I've left on the chair next to Olive, which is the magazine. Just wave it. I was told to wave it. Thank you. Which is the magazine of the World Federation, which I commend you. It comes out, but I really encourage you to read it. And now, Alison, you are taking over.
Am I still allowed 15 minutes? Thank you very much.
Shall we sit down?
Yes, you might want to sit down.
30 seconds.
Yes, I don't only have 30 seconds, do I?
My paperwork, so you don't.
That's all right. I just want to say how really, really grateful I am for this opportunity to just speak. I think I've still got 15 minutes. You better wave at me if you want me to stop earlier. But 15 minutes to talk about my experiences over the last 10 years in particular, because I want to say a huge thank you to the women of Methodist Women in Britain in particular for the huge support and encouragement you have given me over this time. And some of you before that time through Women's Network, because that's where it started for me. And there are some of you in this room who were there encouraging me in my early days. Yes, I've been around for a long time. But it's been a great privilege to serve God through the women's movements of the Methodist Church nationally and globally. So thank you, thank you. And I'm going to try to restrict myself to the last 10 years because in 2016, at the 13th World Assembly of the World Federation of Methodist and Uniting Church Women, which took place in Houston, Texas, I was elected world president. Before that, I was the area president. So, yes, take note. You don't know where it's going to lead you. And I've travelled so much since that time, and I've met some wonderful Christian women in every continent and in some islands as well. And I simply want to introduce you to some of them as briefly as I can this evening. So I think yes, women of the World Federation are organised in units linked with their national church, like Methodist Women in Britain, but they are in 9 geographical areas. Each area has a president and a vice president, as we've been hearing, and between world assemblies, which are normally every 5 years, hence that wonderful word, quinquennium, they meet up with, as world executive, some of those leaders. This picture is of the World Executive meeting in Chicago in early 2017. And you'll notice maybe Louise Wilson is there as area president at that time. She's hiding at the back, which is very unusual for Louise. So the next slide, I looked after the World Federation banner. It spent a lot of time rolled up in a special bag under my bed, but it would come out every time I went travelling. So there on the left is the perpetual, they call it, World Federation banner, the Tree of Life, with colours of representing the 9 areas in the background,
and the fruits of the tree of life. I took it round the world with me. And we used a brilliant resource called Ketso. Has anybody come across Ketso? No. I've still got this resource in my cupboard at home, and I can tell you it's really good for helping a group of people set their goals and their goals for the future. And we used it in Chicago, and wherever I went, we used it with a small group of women. We created flyers, leaflets full of information. There are some similar ones at the back there. And the Methodist Church in Britain heard of my appointment, and they invited me to go to Zimbabwe as their representative to attend the 40th anniversary of the autonomy of the Methodist Church in Zimbabwe. Were any of you there? Yes, a few of you. And what a privilege that was. A celebration over several days in Harare Sports Stadium with 40,000 Methodists, some of whom had travelled from Britain, from the Zimbabwe Fellowship here, and from all around South and East Africa. They were all Zimbabwe Methodist Church people, and they were celebrating that the British Methodist Church that had started them off was now saying, or 40 years ago had said, you can do your own thing. You can look after yourselves. You can be independent of the British Methodist Church. So they were celebrating their 40th anniversary. And I was given outfits to wear. So what an experience. But in that huge crowd, and some of you know that I used to be really shy, I was able to speak from the platform to those 40,000 Methodists. Now, what a privilege. But a young girl came to me, and she, in the middle of that crowd, in that stadium, pulled up my dress, and she wanted to attract my attention. She had something important to say. Well, I couldn't hear her because of the noise, but she persisted. And finally, I understood what she was saying. She was saying to me, you're the world president of this World Federation of Methodist and Uniting Church Women. I want that movement to campaign against domestic violence. And I said, good. We are doing that already through the Thursdays in Black campaign, which continues to function, and I wear black every Thursday. I don't particularly like wearing black, but every Thursday I think of that young girl who was about 8 at the time. So she's a grown woman now, but I still think of her every Thursday when I put on black clothes as my statement, as my way of remembering that we need to stamp out violence against women and girls. Thank you. Let's keep doing it. Now, all the 5 world officers were invited to attend all 8 area seminars. Yes, there's 9 areas, but only 8 area seminars because the Britain and Ireland area join up with the Europe continental area. So that makes 8 area seminars. And I got to go to all of them. And so did most of the other world officers too. And I was so grateful to be able to go to all of them before March 2020. What happened in March 2020? Grounded. But I thank God, I'd been to all 8 area seminars. The first one was in Yangon, Myanmar, and it was also attended by women from India, Sri Lanka, and I can't remember whether Pakistan was represented. But that's just a few of the women, of course. There were lots there. And we enjoyed an outing to the fish farm. And there, a group of women going down to get on a boat to go up to the fish farm. And then when we got there, we'd had another photograph where you will see Mataiva Robertson on the far left. She was the World Secretary. And although she was seriously unwell for part of the time of her role, she is still active. She has recovered tremendously well, and she is still very active, and she's doing all sorts of amazing work. She lives in New Zealand, but she's originally from Samoa, and she travels back to Samoa, and she's supporting women and enabling women and equipping women, and she is tireless in the work that she does. She will be in New Zealand for the 15th World Assembly. We went by coach to northern Myanmar, travelling overnight. I became quite cold, and this dear lady named Florence Paul came and sat next to me on the coach with her blanket, and she shared her blanket with me. Now, with all of this travel, those sorts of incidents are so precious, aren't they? Thanks to technology and WhatsApp, I'm still in touch with Florence, and that is a real joy to me. You see, so there's Florence Paul sitting next to me on the left, and this little boy was in the church that we attended in northern Myanmar. Some women in Southampton Methodist Church in St James's Road, where Jill goes, and Gail, some women there had been busy knitting angels. And I felt that angels were messengers of the good news, yes? And the theme, while I was president, chosen by the previous president, was chosen people called to proclaim. So I asked the women from Southampton Church, would you knit as many angels as you can, please? And they did. They must have knitted hundreds. And I took them around the world and gave them to the women that I met at each area seminar. So I had some in Myanmar. And when this little boy came to speak to me, I gave him an angel as well. And so that's him. He must be a bit older now as well. So the next seminar was joint with Europe Continental, was in Belfast. And here you see the world and area officers, plus the leaders of each unit of Britain, Ireland and Europe Continental. We're at what we call the Weaving Together programme. Before every area seminar, the leaders of each unit and the area officers and the world officers meet for a Weaving Together programme. So I gave each of them an angel as well, didn't I? Yes? It's lovely to give out gifts, isn't it, when somebody else has made them? What day of the week do you think it was? Well done. So we were delighted at Belfast to find 3 of the current Helen Kim scholars at the welcome desk. It's always good to put Helen Kim scholars to work. And you may recognise Ligia Istrati on the left. She is the current editor of that Tree of Life newsletter that goes out globally on time every 3 months. Then Rachel Allison in the middle, she was the Helen Kim Scholar for the British unit. And she was such a help to me at the 14th World Assembly. And then Wanda Hogan, who you've already met. She was a Helen Kim Scholar. You never know where it's going to lead. And Wanda is the registrar for the next World Assembly, and she's doing a terrific job, as is Louise Wilson. So I'm probably going too slowly. Have I still got a few more minutes? Yes. Good. Well, while in Ireland, Wanda enabled me to visit Dr. Edith Lone, a former world president. And she's there on the left. I also, at some point, was able to visit with Anne Connon from Melbourne, my predecessor, and also Dr. Okna Kim La in South Korea. She was a previous world president as well. I just felt so privileged to be able to meet them in their homes. It was really special. But I've also been able to meet another, I think she was a world secretary, Elizabeth Kissack, or was she a president? Anyway, she was a leader, and that was in the Isle of Man. I met with her. And Rosemary Wass, some of you may recognise that name, a previous world president from Britain, from North Yorkshire. They were two other influential world officers. And of course, there's Janice Clark, former world secretary, and Janice is here. Can you wave, Janice, so that, where are you? Where's Janice? Oh, she's there, she's at the back. So I've met all these illustrious women who've influenced me and encouraged me along the way. Then at the South Pacific Area Seminar in Fiji, I met Olive Tanielu. She's now the area president, who is waiting to welcome us to Auckland in August, the area president of South Pacific. Then in Accra, Ghana, for the West Africa event, I was excited to meet two women from Otukpo, Nigeria. Now, why was I pleased to meet them? In 1972, an awful long time ago, I was on VSO in a Methodist mission school in Otukpo. So then when I went to West Africa area seminar, I met these two women who said they came from Otukpo. Yes, so exciting, to me anyway. Then the woman on this one, in green, she travelled from Senegal on her own over several days to arrive at the area seminar in Accra, Ghana. Anybody think they've come a long way today? On your own? On public transport? I just thought that was awesome. Hong Kong was the venue for the East Asia Area Seminar and the World Executive Meeting. And Sao Paulo, Brazil, the venue for the Latin America Area Seminar. Then I went to Chicago for the North America area. And here we've got Judith Siaba. Yes, Judith Siaba, she is the World Federation archivist. So she will be gathering information when we all meet in Auckland in August. Then there was Nairobi for the Southern and East Africa Area Seminar. And Sipiwe, who is this one here, she's with Patricia, who is now the area president. Sipiwe is the world president at the moment. She is the first black African woman to be a president of the World Federation. So that's quite something to celebrate. But can you imagine being a world president and wanting to communicate with the rest of the world, but you live just outside Harare in Zimbabwe, where at the moment you don't have regular electricity and you certainly don't have regular internet access. So quite often we're on a Zoom call and Sipiwe disappears. It must be so frustrating for him. So please pray for Sipiwe. Young people from university acted as stewards at that area seminar, and I was presented with another outfit. Don't you think that's rather glam? Yes. I've just been so fortunate. Then the woman on the far right is from Burundi, and she travelled on her own to get there to Kenya, and she was supported financially by women from the Isle of Man. That's how the World Federation can work. We were all set to go to Gothenburg, Sweden for the 14th World Assembly in August 2021. We'd planned it all, we'd got a lovely venue, we'd got a local group organising it, and then COVID struck. So instead of meeting in person, we ran an online global event. And that was such a steep learning curve for me. And I was so grateful for technical and prayer support from many, many people. And then the following year, we had the courage to run the whole World Assembly online, including business meetings with elections and voting and decisions. The Assembly logo, not that one, the one before, sorry. Yeah, the Assembly logo there, Go and Bear Fruit, that was the one that I chose, if you like, that theme, which has been running for the last 4 years. But that logo was designed by Jennifer's daughter, Sally. And I knew that it would be a good one if I asked her, because she designed the logo for Methodist women in Britain. Yes, Jennifer's daughter. Bless her. Yes, thank you, Jennifer. Then, quickly, Helen Kim scholars had to receive their training online, which was sad for them, but most of them managed to go to Brazil later on and meet in person. Can you spot Madeline in the middle of the screen? Hooray for Madeline. So my final responsibility is to chair the nominations committee for the new world officers who will be elected in the business meeting at the next World Assembly in Auckland, New Zealand at the end of August. I could go on for much longer telling you about the amazing women that I've met and learnt so much from over the last few years. But if you want to know more, may I invite you to buy my book. 30 seconds. Profits will go to the World Federation, and some here will go to the fund that we are launching here. They can be ordered online, but there are a few more copies out there. So I'm grateful to you, and I'm also grateful to God for calling me into service through the World Federation. And to God be the glory.
Thank you very much to our global sisters. I'm standing in the wrong place. Is this better? Thank you. Thank you very much to our global sisters, and thank you for gracing us and explaining, I think, giving us clarity, because I think we've had that question on where do we fit in, where does Methodist women in Britain fit in with the World Federation, and I think that explanation has helped us and given us clarity. I'm just going to race through in 30 seconds what's going to happen this weekend. So we won't ask for the timer because we need to see what's going on. So after our devotions tonight, we're going to either have the disco, and I keep harping on the disco, not because I want people to just come for the disco, but I'm hoping you've brought in a heart of worship. And whatever's sparkling on the outside is also sparkling on the inside. During the same time, we'll also have a different tempo, and we'll have Gillian taking us through circle dancing. So if you'd like to go for circle dancing in the Derwent room, is that correct, Gillian? I can't see her. That's correct, in the Derwent room. Also happening at the same time will be some armchair fellowship in the lounge over a hot or cold drink or two. But remember, we're Methodist. And that'll be in the bar lounge. Like I mentioned, the bar will close at 10:30 or 11:15, depending on how busy it is. After that, tomorrow morning, we will wake up to prayers in here, and there's several prayers. If you check your program, you can pick and choose. You've got prayers, pajama prayers. You've got prayers in here. You've got a walking prayer. Pick the prayers of your choice. And then I think we went back. Then Carolyn will take us through our theme before tea, and we will meet here at 9:30. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not holding my program. At 9:30 to hear what Carolyn has got to say to us. After coffee, we are going to play and test our creativity in Swanwick's version of Dragon's Den. And it will be called the solar panel. So brace yourself, sharpen your minds and your creativity. I shan't say anything more because it'll give it away and you might go and do homework. So meet for the solar panel. After lunch, we will have our workshops. If you haven't chosen workshops, I don't know if there's still any workshops available, but please go and see Philippa. Her hand she's waving. Please see Philippa, and she'll be able to direct you to any workshops that are still open. But we'll have them in the afternoon, 2 sets of workshop. You can see the times on the program. I don't remember the times. And then in the evening, and that's our workshops, we're going to have feedback from the workshops for 30 seconds. It'll be longer than 30 seconds. Then tomorrow we're going to hear in detail to our outgoing Helen Kim scholar, Madeline Reed. She's got a lot that she'd like to say to us. I met Madeline 4 years ago. And there's a lot I could say about what I've seen, but I think I will let her speak to us. We're also going to have news from the coach chair's desk. Lots to share, lots of information. So look out for Leonora and I, and there'll be lots of sharing from there. And then we'll have some more armchair fellowship on Sunday morning. We're going to have a special Bible study that will be led by Jenny Pathmaraja, Reverend Jenny Pathmaraja, who will not be in the sparkly dress on Sunday morning. And this one is called, Is the Bible a Handbook on How to Abuse Women? Now, this is a highly sensitive topic. And if you feel that anything discussed or that could potentially be discussed within this particular topic may be triggering for you, please do not attend. We care more for your wellness, but please go through to the Butterley room. There will be self-led prayers that you can go through during that Bible study if you feel this is not a safe place for you to be in during that period. So please, your wellness is most important. After that, we will share Holy Communion with our preacher, Carolyn Godfrey, and also led by our chaplains, which will take us to the end of the program. It wasn't 30 seconds, but I think I've managed to cover everything. That just in case you haven't read your programs, this is what we've got packed for you. Can we clap hands for such a well-packed program? Thank you. Are we ready to sing? Yes. Are we ready to sing? Yes. Yippee. Okay. May we stand and sing our hymn this evening. Hear the call of the kingdom. So we arrived here in Swanwick this afternoon from districts, bringing our stories, our weariness, and our hopes. We are here to explore our power, how our power meets God's purpose. In the quiet of this Friday night, we acknowledge the small acts that brought us here. The packing, the traveling, the commitment to be together. Tonight, we begin to arise and we begin to shine. I'm going to read from Isaiah 60, verses 1 to 3. You could follow it on the screen. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples. But the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. Before we reflect on our journey, we've been listening to our global sisters through the World Federation. We're going to watch a video from All We Can about a campaign called She. start her enterprise. And this reminds us how power can be converted for purpose, for small acts. Let us watch this.
Hello, I'm Dr. Swanwick, a proud ambassador for Start Her Enterprise. As someone who's seen firsthand the power of education and opportunity to transform lives, I'm so passionate about supporting women to unlock their potential and create financial freedom for themselves. Women and girls around the world face barriers every single day. Fewer opportunities, harassment in the workplace, and more unpaid labour. She's work proves that when women succeed, everyone benefits. Women reinvest 90% of their earnings into families and communities. Each women-led business creates 8 new jobs, and savings groups boost women's income by up to 20%. Start Her Enterprise is a campaign by All We Can dedicated to supporting women in communities most affected by poverty and disaster. She funds locally led organisations delivering vocational training, education and entrepreneurship programmes. These organisations are deeply rooted in their communities, working to end violence, promote youth development and help women become thriving leaders. By way of example, one of She's partners in Uganda has supported 77% of teenage moms to run their own businesses and 80% to use loans to grow. We believe women are experts in their own context and best placed to determine solutions to the challenges they face. By partnering with local organisations, She supports women to choose their own path. Every pound donated to She goes directly to supporting these local partners. Funds are allocated where the need is greatest, whether that's launching new businesses, providing financial literacy training, or supporting girls' education. The approach is long-term, sustainable, and locally led. If you believe in a world where every woman and girl can thrive, I invite you to join She. Become an ambassador and help She amplify the voices of women entrepreneurs and inspire others to get involved too. Or give today. Your support will create lasting change for women, their families, and entire communities. Start her enterprise, ignite her future.
In the film, we just watched Dr. Rajpa say something that should challenge and inspire each one of us. Women are experts in their own context. Often when we talk about power or changing the world, we imagine we need to be someone else, someone louder, someone wealthier, someone with more time. But the women in the She campaign aren't waiting for a hero to fly in and save them. They are simply waiting for the barriers to be moved so that they can use their expertise they already possess. They have the power. They just need the partnership to fuel their purpose. Tonight we're sitting here, anticipating what is to come for the weekend. We are in a sense like seeds mentioned in the video, contained, quiet, and perhaps feeling quite small in a room full of people. But remember what a seed is. It is a tiny bundle of stored up energy. It is a high voltage in a very small package. Our theme, Power to Purpose, reminds us that power isn't a commodity we buy. It's a gift we steward. At Swanwick 2026, we often talk about the mountaintop experience, but the real work happens in the small acts. It's the decision to reinvest 90% of what we have back into our families, our churches, our communities. It's the decision to see ourselves not just as a volunteer, but as a bright spark capable of lighting a future. In our districts, we know a thing or two about skies, back at home about horizons. We know that to arise and shine, you don't need to reinvent the sun. You just need to be a mirror that reflects it. So as we head to our various activities tonight, don't worry about being a big shine. Don't worry about being that extra force. Instead, reflect on your small spark. Ask yourself, how can my specific expertise, my life experience, my kindness, my prayers become a solar panel for someone else? Tonight, we don't need to change the world. We just need to prepare our hearts to glow. Because when 100 small sparks gather in one place, the darkness doesn't stand a chance. Let us pray. Gracious and radiant God, we stand at the beginning of this weekend. We thank you for the power you have already placed within us, within our stories, our wisdom, and our shared Methodist hearts. We bring before you the women we saw tonight in the She campaign. We pray for the teenage mothers in Uganda, the entrepreneurs, the leaders in the making. May our prayers and our presence here ignite a future for them that is as bright as your promises. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. We pray for ourselves, for our districts. Forgive us when we forget our purpose or feel our light is too dim. Remind us that when our small acts meet your great power, the darkness must retreat. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Bless our conversations, Lord, and the corridors tonight, in the laughter yet to come, in the activities, in our fellowship. May this Friday night be our awakening, so that by Sunday we are ready to return home and truly shine. Lord, in your mercy, we pray all this in the name of Jesus, the light of the world. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much all for coming, for surviving the first night. As we go off to our various activities, remember to enjoy yourself thoroughly in whatever it is that you do. Whether you decide to go and sleep because you've had a long journey, or you go and join those fellowshipping in the armchairs, or you join us here, or you join Gillian, whatever it is, just remember that your power is within you and the purpose is from God. See you tomorrow morning. Have a good night.